Is he keeping you from... Oh, that's right. You make him stay in that body. You make him stay. That's right. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and I am here with a new series. It's new to you, new to this channel, but I have actually watched the first season. I watched it way back in, was it 2020 when it first came out? I believe it was. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I didn't know what it was going to be about, but I really ended up liking it a lot. It was just very creative, very interesting, very weird, kind of creepy. But either way, I enjoyed it a lot. And that is Sweet Home, which is a K-drama / K-horror fantasy. I mean, I would only call it horror because I didn't find it that scary, but I'd say it's at least a thriller. And the premise of the show, if you are not familiar, which I'm not sure why you'd be watching this if you're not, but if you're not familiar, it's basically set in South Korea, and it focuses on one character whose name is Hyun-soo, and he has moved into an apartment complex after some tragedy in his personal life, and shortly after he moves in, this strange curse starts affecting all these different people, and these curses turn everybody into different types of monsters. And usually these monsters are based on some type of desire that the person has. So for example, there's a woman in there who's constantly dieting and she turns into a monster that's constantly hungry. There's a protein monster who's a guy who's like obsessed with the gym. But point being, there usually is a correlation between what they desire most and what they turn into. So anyway, our main character, he gets this curse, but he's different because he doesn't actually turn into a full-blown monster like many of the people do. He ends up being able to basically dance a line between his humanity and this monster form. And as a result, he turns out being pretty indispensable to the people who have not gotten this curse that are still living in the apartment building. So really interesting story, very different. I like the different take on the whole monster genre, not being like a zombie virus or some type of illness that makes everyone crazy. Like there just is no real explanation for why this happens. The end of the last season, we had a big blowout between Hyun-soo and another character who was like him, who actually his ability was a bit different in that he could actually jump to different bodies. So if the body he was in was dying, if there was another body nearby, he could overtake that body and basically take over their lives from that point forward. And anyways, unlike Hyun-soo, this guy basically thought that his powers enabled him to be basically like a god, that he didn't have to worry about the world, society anymore. He could do whatever he wanted, which is not what Hyun-soo wanted to do with his ability. So they had a big battle at the end, and it seemed like he had won the battle. Hyun-soo had won the battle, but in the end, the authorities showed up because they found out Hyun-soo existed, and of course they want Hyun-soo because they want to figure out if there's a way to, to stop this this curse from happening or reverse it. Basically, they want to make him into a test subject. And so they showed up to capture him and take him into their lab. But then we find out that the guy that he fought had actually taken over the body of one of the people who was in the building who had recently passed. And he basically was taking Hyun-soo, from what I could see, for his own purposes. So no idea what's going to happen going into this season. I did watch the trailers and they did not give very much away at all. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we're going to bring in season 2. And we're going to get into episode 1, which does not have a title. But just before I do, if this is your first time on my channel, I do a lot of reactions here to all kinds of shows. I've got another K-drama I'm reacting to right now called Moving, and I'm going to be doing a lot more good Korean stuff in the new year. So if that interests you or any of the other stuff that I watch, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you threw some likes on it and put some comments below. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right about now. That looks disgusting.
그래 뭐 밝혀낸 거라도 있나?
가설은 하나 있어요.
Okay.
46억 년 전에 지구가
Oh wow, we're going way back.
이쯤 되면 지구도 그런 생각 들지 않겠어요? 이제 주인을 바꿔줘야지. 장난들아.
Interesting thought. Just drinking out of a beaker. Do you know what that is, sir?
바이러스고.
I'd agree with that.
괴물이 백신이다.
Are they? I mean, I guess if they're not actually doing any damage to the earth, then they're better for the earth in general. Not a beating brain? It's an interesting image. Not exactly the organ I associate beating with.
호송 중인 자는 매우 위험한 자다. 그러면 안전을 보장하겠다.
Oh, because they don't know.
누가 누구 안전을 보장하겠다는 거야, 감히.
Okay, we're picking up right where we left off.
또 없어.
이런 일을 벌인 이유가 있을 거야, 새끼야.
Rude. I don't think I realized last season that when this guy took over his body, he healed all his burns. There's gotta be a way to destroy this bastard. Hey, it's Mama! Should you be in this? You're still pregnant, aren't you? Although you're the reason why this is happening to Hyunsu, but I guess you didn't have much of a choice. You're shooting at a bulletproof vehicle?
네 눈빛이 마음에 안 들었거든.
Can you poke his eyes out or something? I'm gonna need you to do more, Hyunsu. You're gonna need to do way more than what you're doing right now. Yuck. Do something about his legs, bro. Like, you're killing me here. At all costs. Okay. You gonna blow the bridge? Because that's feeling like the only thing you're gonna be able to do. Since y'all seem to have some stormtrooper aim in this. That's right. You better Vin Diesel this, sis, because it always takes a woman to get it done. Oh, Hyunsu, you are saddening me, bro. Now steer. Damn. Sis, I don't know if this is the right car chase for you, because you carrying precious cargo and stuff. Like, So, you see, why has your monster not come out yet? Exactly, I'm afraid you're gonna have to.
나못 죽여.
Yeah, he's not playing fair. I told you you'd have to take out the bridge. Y'all are terrible at this. You guys are terrible at this. Like, literally, this is the country's security? This is their security.
인간도 괴물도 아닌 게 저것들이 있어야 약을 만들어. 어? 성공한 겁니까?
I mean, if there's two, there's gotta be more.
여기까지 오는 동안 괴물 하나도 없었잖아.
사람도 없어.
Yep.
아, 그 약이 저
Because they got rid of everything. No. But you know, I believe what you gotta believe. It's kind of a crappy situation regardless. Who's bleeding? Who's lying? Really? No one's gonna say anything? Really?
알겠습니다. 확인해 보겠습니다.
I don't think they're gonna check. I don't think he's gonna make it. He really won't. That's how they checked. I'm so sorry.
회복 증상 없습니다. 괴물은 아닙니다.
Oh.
치료.
Damn, that's how y'all... Really? We're gonna beat the man up because you killed his loved one right in front of him? Alright, that's the kind of world we're going into. Oh, his wig came off. Oh. Yeah, speaking of monsters, some of them don't even have to be changed, do they? It's like if the things aren't bad enough, now we've got bullies inside the camp too. Did we actually find safety?
그럼 이건 무슨 소리야?
I wouldn't check it out without a weapon. Sounds like children, but I don't trust it. Yeah, back up. Run away, run away, run away.
신호 없습니다. 이게 어디서 개수작이야? 야.
Okay, y'all are way too trigger happy to be doing this job because you just be taking out all the people who survived. Yeah, this society gonna fall apart quick at this rate. Okay, this is creepy now. Can we run? Is it time to run? I think it's time to run. It's time to go. All right, y'all deserve to get what you get. Exactly. Stood there that long. And his ass told you he heard something. Can we... Seriously, what did they learn in military training? Nobody's hitting the target. No one. Interesting. It doesn't seem to be hurting anyone yet. Y'all, you did not get to safety at all. You were better off staying in that creepy ass apartment building. This wild gunfire and none of y'all are actually hitting anything. Okay, civilians just all get. Okay. Jeez. I think all you people need to run away because the military do not have it together. That monster literally didn't take out anybody. That was all the military. All that and it lived. See what I mean? Like, it's not actually trying to hurt anybody. It's just trying to get through. Oh my god, this is chaos. Like ballerina sis, I'm gonna need you to get out of the way. The amount of collateral, oh my god. It just hit me that the two kids that escaped with them, they would have had to recast those kids because there's no way they're still that small. Yep. Not surprised. Leave him there. Yeah, that's for the best. I know, I'm sorry. That sounds really cold, but he was not gonna be okay. Like, he was just hurting people. It wasn't gonna get better. Seriously, it's sad, but these types of situations are what bring out people's true natures, and sometimes it's terrifying. She said she was tired of running. See that look in her face? She's like, I'm done running. I'm gonna start figuring out how to take these things. Oh, honey. Oh, muffin. And we know that not all the monsters want to hurt people. We learned that last season. Yeah, if it wanted to kill your baby, it would have done it already. Like, I don't think y'all have noticed that it hasn't attacked anyone. Can we run now? Honestly, from the soldiers, not even from the monster. Can we run from the soldiers? No, they're so far from it. She's had it. Get it together or get out. Period. You out here fighting this boy where there are bigger problems in the world right now. If you want to save yourself, get out and run. No, honestly, what is gagging me right now is that all the bodies you see there were killed by the military. Not a single one by the monster. I'm not going down there. Respectfully, nope. If it's not right here, an immediate problem for me, I'm not going to go looking for it. These monsters have basically said, if I didn't send for you, don't come for me. But okay. Who's they? Are we not talking about the other military people? I did not expect it being in the ceiling, but I was going to say that tactical plan made more sense than whatever the guys before them were doing. Why are y'all making me feel bad for the monster? But it reminds me of the slime from last season, right? The slime wasn't trying to hurt anybody. Then there's the woman who was turned into a giant womb. Like, not all these monsters are hurtful. Oh, wait. We kept hearing a child's noise. Do you think maybe there's a child in there? But would it be a child monster? I'm so confused. But baby, I don't even know. There's a baby in there. Yep. I really hope it wasn't an actual child in there. That sounds like a baby, but I don't even know what we're gonna see. Can you show us what's in there? In my mind, my imagination is going wild right now. Like a literal baby monster? It is. I saw the bug eyes. How? Why do I feel bad? I shouldn't, but I do, but oh no. Yeah, you're not gonna stop a mom, sir. And still not trying to attack them. Oh no. Don't do that though. The baby, it's a baby. Okay, I'm horrified. I mean, I know I shouldn't be, but I am. I am horrified at how they're handling this. I don't care what it is, it's a baby. How did this happen though? How did they turn to the same monster? I mean, it stands to reason that the curse would affect children too, but that looks like a baby. I'm so confused. Babies don't have desires outside of food. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about this. I guess he didn't want to kill it.
그게 우리 까마귀 부대 존재 이유입니다. 제 말이 틀렸습니까?
I'm so conflicted. Because beyond the fact that it's morally gross.
우리는 사람을 해치는 괴물만 처리한다.
Thank you. And that you guys shouldn't have killed the one that was just protecting its baby. Didn't try to hurt any of you guys even once, even when you were stabbing and shooting it. It kept going for the baby. But now that baby's going to grow up hating humans now because you literally killed its mama in front of him. So, wow, that was messed up.
군인들한테 개처럼 끌려가서 후회하지 말고 자유롭게 살라고 널 구해주는 거야.
That's why you stabbed me in the chest. Sure.
상관없어. 내 선택이었으니까.
그래. 너는 네 발로 군인들에게 찾아갔어.
Because he wanted to.
왜 그랬어?
Because he wants to.
내가 얘기해줬잖아. 수없이 쑤시고.
Okay, then run away.
나도 살고 싶었을 뿐이야.
Sounds like they didn't kill you, though. I mean, they were trying. In fairness, it was torture. But it's kind of like, just because you don't want to go through that doesn't mean that he's not have a choice to do it. A clothing monster?
앞으로는 이유 없이 사람을 죽이지 않을게.
Don't fall for it.
먼저 나서진 않는다고 약속할게.
He just wants to justify the fact that he's crazy. Don't fall for it, Hyun-soo. Not this golem looking. So we've got a shopaholic monster? Is that basically what we're seeing here? Ladies? Little warning against being a little retail addict? Is Hyun-soo gonna fall for this or is he gonna try to get away? Because I can't. He can't. I mean, I get where he's coming from because they are just gonna turn him into a test subject, but you can't trust this man. He will definitely kill again.
그들이 만나면 알게 되겠지. 네가 선택받은 이유를.
I'm not, don't, I mean, you're both really attractive, but no, don't. Just, Devil on your show. What's going on with his eye? That's new. His eyes did not turn blue last season.
출입일지 작성과 신분 확인을 하셔야 들어가실 수 있으십니다.
나 몰라? 긴급하다고 했잖아. 열어!
That's her. She probably has a gun to his back. Yeah, no, he definitely, yep, I was right. I'm still at a loss as to why Hyun-soo has not just tried running. Like, just good old-fashioned running. Does this guy faster than you too? Hyun-soo does have to level up, though. He needs to get better with his abilities.
여전히 그 고통만은
You deserve more.
똑똑히 기억해.
Oh, he's the problem. Got you. Well, I'm not, you know, if you want to go back and take it out on him, I get that part. But then you have to take yourself out too, because you're crazy. Oh, you got his memories. Come on, bro. Fight back. Get your body back. Fight back. Get your body back. That's right. That's right. You take your body back. Oh, y'all deserve that for standing there. But thank you for fighting back. Because how dare he? Take your life, then take your body. You better give him hell. Haunt him for the rest of the minutes that he's in this body. Every last second. Sorry about y'all. I don't know why he was standing from a car going that fast. You saw them barrel through a bridge. You couldn't pay me enough to stand in front of that car. That didn't sound healthy. Bro, you just got that jacket. He's just gonna move to another body.
우리한테 왜 이러는 거야?
I didn't do anything, bro. I just got here. And I was kidnapped, for the record. Hyun-soo being an empath. We don't have time for this. Oh, yeah, he really is gonna die. They do say that, like, when you're right before you're about to go, for a lot of times you go for your mom. Do it. I know, bro, but honestly, he probably wasn't going to make it. He was going to be a long, painful death, and more importantly, Psycho there is probably just going to jump into the body. It's like, shh, just put you back there. Can we go see what's going on with Psycho over there? Is he recovered yet? Oh, no. Wow. Ugh. See, I'm starting to understand where Crazy was coming from, but I just don't agree with the approach. He was basically punishing all humans for what one, particularly Psycho one, did to him, you know? Stay in the light, man. Oh, it's already over. I mean, I guess she still has her life. Really? Can you at least get the mom out of the room before you start doing anything? Yeah, no, actually this place does have to go down. I'm sorry. There's got to be better ways to figure out how to take these monsters down. Where they're not even trying. They didn't even try to stop her. Wow. She's like, yep, if my man's here, I'm burning this whole place down. Know that. Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have. You should have let it go. Is he keeping you from... Oh, that's right. You make him stay in that body. You make him stay. That's right. You don't know what pain is, sir.
널 봐. 인간 없이는 살 수가 없잖아.
Period. Good point. Let him know that.
고작 기생충일 뿐이야.
That's so true. That's exactly what you evolved into. That would have been way more effective if you were literally crawling away.
나랑 같이 가자.
Let's go, friend. Payback. She's a... He doesn't accept himself as a human being. Why does he care about them? I'm not begging. I thought you were a badass. Yeah, but you really shouldn't be out there either, so... Maybe because you were crazy and you hurt him and hurt people he cared about? Shot in the dark.
내가 인간이라는 걸 절대로 잊고 싶지 않으니까. Exactly.
Because that's what you forgot. Let's go! Oh, not the blow up and the blow up? The explosion. Wow, my brain. Oh, yeah, that was gonna happen. It wasn't your fault, but yeah, that was gonna happen. You mean coulda? There was no escape regardless. The only thing is I think he's got a better chance of escaping again if he gets a hold of his powers. But something tells me that our old friend is holding him in that body and it's making me very happy. Oh, and that's it. That is it, she said. That is all she wrote. All right, guys. Well, that was the first episode of season 2 of Sweet Home, and we had a lot go down. That was a long episode. Yeah, it was a little over an hour. But yeah, we picked up basically right where the finale left off. We see that the people who were rescued from the building were on their way to what was supposed to be a safe zone, but it was very clear that it is far from safe, and not because of the monsters, but because the military is losing their minds. And I actually kind of like that they showed that, because in so many movies, they make it seem like everything would be perfectly, you know, orderly and, you know, well to do if there was a complete shutdown of society unexpectedly. And that's just not the way things typically work, especially in a situation where where these monsters could pop up at any time, anywhere, anybody. Like it's not a matter of being bitten or scratched. Like you literally could just be walking beside somebody and then 2 minutes later they're bleeding from the nose and there's something else, right? So it's a very scary and uncertain time, and the military was obviously not trained to deal with something like this. So It's good to see that in some cases it's not going to be orderly. People are going to be reacting out of fear, out of anger, out of their own inner stuff that's going on. And we saw that go down when that monster appeared and nobody knew what was going on. And again, it saddens me that the first thing they didn't notice was that the monster didn't actually attack anybody, right? It knocked a few people over, but it wasn't swiping, it wasn't biting. And honestly, if you look at the makeup of the monster, outside of having pretty large hands and like the jagged teeth, the mouth was so small that my point is, it wasn't a predator. Like, I'm looking at that monster and it was not designed to be a predator in any way. And again, it didn't go out of its way to hurt anyone. And we saw there was only one officer that finally figured out when it had the child that it's like, wait, stop shooting. Like, it's not hurting the kid. The kid's screaming because it's okay, right? Like, if it really wanted to hurt the kid, it could have snapped it like a twig, but it didn't. And actually put it back with its mother. So again, it's like we saw later on that one soldier said that our orders were to take out any monsters that were hurting humans. And I like that they made that distinction because there's just too many of them now at this point, obviously. But also, if some of them are not hell-bent on hurting people, then why do you need to take them out? Like, there's really no reason for that. But fear, right? Fear took over, and a lot of them, as you saw, all the civilians that were collateral damage in that battle were from the soldiers. Shot, flamed to death, like grenaded, like seriously, just complete mayhem and chaos. So it's kind of scary because now it's like, if you are a human now, where's the safe zone? It sounds like they're better off just staying in their homes and doing what they can to protect themselves because the military ain't got it together. You know what I'm saying? So we know that that's what's going on. They tried to go to the safe zone. Everything broke out there almost immediately. And actually, before I move on from that, the baby of the monster, that was a very interesting moral dilemma that they created with that, because on the one hand, it's a monster, which again, we've never seen a child, like even in the last season, they never showed a child turning from this curse. So this child, even though it gave the effect of a baby, it was saying mom and speaking. So I don't know how old this child was supposed to be, but either way, it's very interesting to see a child actually have this curse because, as I said, we didn't see it before, but also what does that morally mean, right? Because the child wasn't trying to, it was a baby. It was a baby. Like, there was not much that it could do in that state. And then again, they did kill its mother right in front of it. So who knows what that's going to leave in its mind. Like, maybe it wasn't a predator, but we don't know that these monsters won't continue to evolve, right? So we saw that with Hyun-soo last season, that like he started out with just having the eye changes. There was really no other physical change. But then in the last episode, he grew that bone wing out of his arm. So I think that there's an evolution that's possible with all these monsters if necessary. And that baby might have started out being a gentle, benevolent monster, and now it's going to turn into probably a very hateful, anti-human monster, and with good reason, because there was no reason to hurt that monster. That monster didn't want to hurt anybody. Even when they were attacking the baby and it was rushing to get to the baby, it was just knocking the soldier out of the way. It wasn't trying to kill anyone. So it's just interesting, the moral dilemma that kind of created. Like, if you see a child monster, do you take it out? Do you let it live? Like, are we morally taking out a kid? Like, it was an interesting conundrum because I was like, I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for here, but it seemed wrong. It felt wrong. So anyways, I'm going to go with my conscience. My conscience said that it felt wrong, but this is going to be things that I think they're going to have to deal with going forward, because not all monsters are going to be, attacking monsters are not going to be violent, and not all of them are going to be adults. So yeah, that's going to be something to deal with, I guess, as the season goes on. But yeah, coming back to the rescued, got there, all hell broke loose. We see that I call it the ballerina because I can't remember her name, but she got a hold of a gun. She saw that soldier who decided to take his life after he took out three innocent people. Understandably though, that's a lot to take on mentally and emotionally. And I think unfortunately they made a very brash decision in a low moment. We see that she saw that, then picked up his gun, and it just got this look on her face that to me said that she's kind of done running, because really these monsters are going to be everywhere, and there's going to have to be a point where they're learned to defend themselves, because there's going to be a point where they're not going to be able to run from the monsters. So yeah, I think her taking the gun and kind of getting back onto the truck, well, reluctantly, and then even taking over when the soldiers were losing their minds, I think she's kind of done with the running, and that she's to the point now where she's like, no, we're going to figure something out, get organized, and start fighting back, because the running isn't going to help, and the people who are supposed to help us are not helping. So we'll see what happens with that. They were definitely the lesser part of this episode. Then we got the pregnant lady, the firefighter. She, I think, is looking for her husband because she still's not been able to find him. And last season, the military hinted that he might still be alive, but they didn't give her much info. Basically said that if she delivered Hyun-soo to them, that they would give her information about her husband. And so we know that obviously things with that went sideways, and she's probably like, let me not wait for them to go, to renege on their promise to me. She overheard those soldiers talking about how a bunch of the special infectees, aka people that they think are like Hyun-soo, who are not like fully turned monsters or are able to turn it on and off, that they are all at a facility called Bomson, I think they called it. And so she basically hijacked her way in using one of their commanding officers, and she saw what happened to that one girl with, I don't know, Edwina Scissorhands, I guess we'll call her. And now that she sees how they're being tortured, she's all the more resolved to find her man if he is in fact still alive, which I'm wondering if who we saw at the beginning of the episode was in fact her husband. We don't know. We didn't get his name. We just saw that he was in really rough shape, like looked like he was literally clinging to life. So if that is her husband, that's pretty sad, pretty twisted. But if he's still alive, then I guess there's still a chance that he could recover, since we know that these monsters can in fact heal from just about anything. So yeah, that's where she's at. And again, I'm assuming she's still pregnant, so that's also going to be a whole thing. Then finally we had Hyun-soo and what was his name? I keep forgetting the name of the bad guy. And anyways, we see that they have their little battle in the truck because Hyun-soo is like, you killed my friends. Like, it's on like Donkey Kong. But of course, he's still playing around with Hyun-soo. And he keeps trying to get Hyun-soo to use his monster abilities more, right? Because that's one thing I've been saying throughout the episode, is that the other guy definitely has way more control over his monster side, which something I think Hyun-soo is going to have to figure out if he really wants to survive in this world. But digressing, they have their battle in the truck. The military proves that they're highly inefficient at capturing an escapee. But digressing, eventually they get to the mall, and we see that he's dressing up and again going back into his crazy mode. And Hyun-soo takes that opportunity to be like, why are you doing this? Like, why did you kidnap me? Like, you could have let me be captured. Like, I'm not your problem anymore. What do you want from me? And he basically tells him that he's trying to save him, because what he went through in that facility was hell, and he doesn't want Hyun-soo to go through what he went through. But Hyun-soo, along with myself, just don't believe that that's all purely for benevolent causes. Like, it's just not ringing true. So he's like, really? That's really the whole thing? Like, and again, Hyun-soo was also like, I wanted to, like, I was turning myself in. I know what I was doing. And he was like, no, you really have no idea. He's like, they're going to rip you apart. They're going to do everything horrible to you to try to figure out what's going on with you. And it's horrible. He's like, the pain is unlike anything you've ever known. And so he said, I want you to like live your own life. And then he tells Hyun-soo, and this is the part where he lost Hyun-soo, honestly, is when he's like, stop worrying about saving humanity and all that nonsense. Think about yourself. Not Hyun-soo's thing, because really, what I think makes Hyun-soo what he is, right? And we saw that the other guy asked Hyun-soo, like, why do you think you became a neo-human, as he calls it? And Hyun-soo didn't answer, but obviously, I think that for the changeling, I'll call him that, I think he became a neo-human to survive, right? We got a little bit of his backstory last season, but I think his was purely out of a sense of survival and a desire for revenge for all the people who've hurt him, not just the people in the lab, but even before that, it sounds like he felt like he was pretty beaten up and trodden down. Whereas with Hyun-soo, we know from last season that for the first like 5 episodes, he didn't even want to live, right? He was actually planning on taking his own life, but that switched up after he became a monster and started to help people when he became of use, right? Because we know his story was very tragic. He really was questioning if there was any purpose to him or his life anymore. And being in that apartment building, helping people, fighting off monsters, saving lives, that gave him purpose. And that gave him a meaning to his life. So I really think that that's why Hyun-soo has become what he is, literally rooted in him wanting to help people. So having the changeling ask him to abandon that, I think that was exactly what would turn Hyun-soo into a full-fledged monster if he did that. So we see then the guy, so basically Hyun-soo was like, I don't want to live like you. I don't want to be selfish and take lives without any conscience. And so the changeling lies, because I'm sure it was a lie. He's like, oh, I'm not going to hurt anybody anymore unless it's like they attack me first. Like, I promise. And Hyunsu's kind of like, okay, you promised. And again, I don't know if Hyunsu was actually like trying to trust him or if he was just getting to the point where he's like, I got to get this guy to get off my neck because I can't beat him yet. Which again, I do think Hyunsu could beat him, but the last time he went full beast mode, he lost it. Like he couldn't remember anything, and we know that he inadvertently took out the old man that he really cared about. But again, the old man didn't want to live anyway, but that's a whole other story. But digressing, I think that Hyunsu is a bit scared of his monster side still, and understandably so, because I don't think he really knows how to tap into it in a safe way. Because also last season, we saw that every time Hyunsu did that, he would have really dark thoughts. So anyway, we see that they decide to go back to the facility anyways, and it looks like the Changeling has a plan, like he's going to go in and try to, like, I don't know, maintain some level of control somehow. But we see that my man from last season, oh yeah, his brain is still in there. His memories are still in there. His emotional connections are still in there. And he starts flooding this guy with memories and the ghost of the girl that he took out. And we see that he just can't handle it. The Changeling is not used to having to deal with people's memories like that. Again, I don't know, because we haven't seen him in last season. We didn't get to see how he took over the body that he was in or any of that kind of stuff, but it doesn't look like he dealt with that before. And so if there's anything we know about the character, not the Changeling, but the character whose body he took over last season, is that he is a strong person. Like, he's very formidable mentally and physically. So I think that this guy, the Changeling, definitely underestimated the kind of body that he took over. I think he thought it was just going to be an easy peasy, but it wasn't. And maybe because he died so traumatically as well at the hands of this guy is another reason why it's so strong. But yeah, we see that he started messing with his head, and it got so bad that he ended up losing control of the car. And that was the opportunity that Hyunsu needed to finally get free. But then he sees how many people died just trying to stop them from coming in the facility, and Hyunsu feels sick about it because that's not what he wanted. He wants to help people, and now all these people died unnecessarily. And so from there, we see that he looks over and sees that the Changeling is, he's really not healing, right? Usually they heal up pretty quickly, but he's not. He got bashed up pretty bad, to be fair, but like he's not really healing up. And then we see that he tries to jump bodies and he can't. We see like the monster thing starts crawling up his wrist and it recedes. So my theory is that the guy whose body he took over is stopping him, is actively stopping him from using his abilities, like kind of his last FU. Or he just might have been hit a limit too. Like, we don't know if maybe this monster thing actually hits a limit, because he used a lot of his abilities between having to jump bodies to fighting Hyunsu. So maybe he's just like, his battery is low too. I don't know. But for the moment, he's at the mercy of the military, because he doesn't have any more tricks. He really doesn't have anything outside of his strength and his ability to jump bodies. So Hyunsu uses that opportunity to try to take him in, because he's like, I get where he's coming from. Like, even though what this guy said was valid about the testing and how horrific it is, Hyunsu also knows that this guy can't keep walking around out and about, right? Not doing what he's doing, not acting the way he is, because he's taking that anger that professor, his anger for that, I keep calling him, I don't even know if he's a professor, whoever was doing the tests on him, he's taking his anger of him torturing him out on all humans. So I understand why Hyunsu decided to hand him in, but obviously it's not going to go well for him either. We saw that they took him down with a hail of bullets, because of course they don't know whether or not these two are working together or what's happening. But we'll have to see what happens now in the second episode, now that they're captured. They really wanted these two. We see that they're obviously mistreating the ones that they already have, and we know what they already put the Changeling through. So we'll have to see what happens with Hyunsu. I'm really hoping that he doesn't have to go through too much, but I have a feeling that he's going to have to, because as I said in the episode, I think the reason why the Changeling is so damn good at his abilities is because it was forced out of him by the torture. And I don't want that to happen to Hyunsu, but I do think he needs a push to get better control over his powers, because it's been very emotionally driven and survival driven up until this point. And like I said, I just don't see that being enough going into the rest of the season. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the upcoming episodes. I'm excited to see where they're going to go with this, and like what we're going to have as our culmination point, because where do we go from here? Like, the world's already a mess. This guy's now captured. So where are we going? What's the next steps? I'm really eager to find out. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love to this video and leave some comments below, and I will see you in the next video.